this is Koba Sensei from ITeens Lab. This video is part of a series where I explain how to use Unity, which is software for making 3D and 2D games. This is the 9th video in the series. In the previous video, I covered the basics of how to use a feature called Rigidbody. This time, I'd like to go into more detail about Rigidbody. And in this video, we're going to use the Rigidbody feature to make a ball that you can move using the arrow keys on your keyboard. So, that's what we're going to take a look at today. Once you do this, you'll finally be able to make something that really feels like a game. Exciting, right? Alright, let's get started. Let's pick up where we left off with the previous file. First, let's take a look at what we've got so far. Right. So, from here, I want to try making it so we can move the ball using the D-pad. Alright, let's go to the script. Since last time, I've deleted some of the commented out sections, but the important parts are still there. So, fabric in and power, these determine the force that makes it fly. And then there's Rigidbody, player RB, which is the container for the Rigidbody. Right. And then, we assign the Rigidbody to player RB using getComponent. And here, this is the part that makes it jump forward. But this time, we're not going to use this section, so I'd like to comment it out like this. Here it is. You could just delete it, but if you comment it out like this, it might come in handy later if you need to use it again. So, for times when you're not using a part of the program, it's actually pretty convenient to just comment it out for now. This is one technique, so definitely try to remember it. Alright, now I'd like to write the part here that lets you move with the arrow keys. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is create an if statement. Yes, an if. And then, input. .getKey. Keycode.right arrow. This means that when the right arrow key is pressed, it will trigger. Yes, generally, when you want to write code that responds to a button being pressed, you almost always use an if statement. So, if statement, then input.getKey. This time, we're using getKey because we want it to keep working as long as the key is held down. So, we'll use getKey. And then keycode. This specifies which keyboard key was pressed. Right arrow. Yes, right arrow means the right arrow key. So, with this, it will respond when the right arrow key is pressed. So, what happens when the right arrow key is pressed? We apply force to the player's Rigidbody using add force. It's a vector 3 force pointing to the right. Alright, that's how we set it up. Let's save it once and take a look. Okay, let me run it. When I press the right arrow key, like this. Alright, now the ball moves. Just like this. So, with the if statement, you write it so that it checks if the right arrow key is pressed. Then, inside, you add a force to the right. In other words, as long as the right arrow key is being pressed, the ball will keep moving to the right along the X direction. Yes, that's how it works. Now, let's go ahead and copy this. Let's create the left direction as well. Alright, and then over here too. This will be left. And here, it checks if the left arrow key is pressed. It will apply a force to the left. That's how we'll set it up. Okay, let's save it and check it again. When you press the right arrow key, it moves to the right, and when you press the left, it now moves to the left. Just like this, we've managed to add movement. Alright, so let's keep going and create the forward and backward movements as well. Moving forward will be with the up arrow key. And then, when the up arrow key is pressed, it applies a forward force. And this one is for the down arrow. When the down arrow key is pressed, it applies a backward vector. It applies a backward force, just like this. Let's pay a little attention here. When you press the up arrow key, it moves forward with the up arrow, and when you press the down arrow key, it moves backward. That's how it works. Now, let's save and take a look. Alright. How does it look? Yes, it works without any problems. Now we can move this ball forward, backward, left, and right. Alright, so finally, as a bonus, let's make it so that when you press the spacebar, the ball jumps. Let's try creating that kind of program. Okay. For this as well, the method is the same. Use if input.getKey, and for the spacebar, it's better to use getKeyDown. For jumping, yes, and then key code. Space. With this, when the spacebar is pressed. Alright, vector 3. Here, it's up. We're applying an upward force. And, well, if we leave it as is, it's probably too weak, so let's add some power here. With this, I think we should be able to jump. Alright, let's save and take a look. So now, you can move forward, backward, left, and right, and you can jump with the spacebar. I think it's starting to feel a lot more like a real game now. Great job, everyone! How did you find today's lesson? We tried using statements to control the character with the keyboard. I know some of you might still find if statements a bit tricky, but if you keep practicing over and over, you'll naturally get used to them, so don't worry. Just take it step by step and have fun. I hope you'll keep writing code and enjoying it. Next time, we'll try changing the color of objects. Alright then, see you in the next video. Bye bye.